Hi everybody, it's Jenny, and in this video we are going to talk all about fabric. When you begin quilting, the one thing you can't do without is fabric. So let's go over some of the options that are out there. Now, in the old days, people made quilts to keep warm, and they made their quilts out of anything they could get their hands on. Old clothing, scraps. They didn't care what kind of fabric they were using. And when you start, you may want to try on some of those things as well, just to see if you're going to like it. But once you get quilting, you need to know a little bit more about fabric. So fabric generally comes several ways. One of the ways is on a bolt like this. You'll see the information on the end of the bolt and the company that makes it, and a lot of times the designer's name is written in the selvage right here. Now the selvage edge is the part that they hook to the machine when they actually make the fabric. And when you get the fabric, you can buy different increments and different sizes, and really however much you want. And it just comes like this as running yardage, and you cut the size of the piece you want. There are some other pieces that are particularly popular in quilting. One is the quarter yard and the half yard. And so this is the size of a quarter yard right here. It's 9 inches and it's cut. You get 9 inches wide by however long your fabric is. It's generally around 42, 40, 45, something like that. And so they're all a little bit different widths, and so I just don't like to say exactly because your fabric may be a different width. So you can get your quarter yards, your half yards, all those yards cut like that. You can also get them in fat quarters. Now a fat quarter means that it's a half a yard of fabric that is cut at the fold. So it's actually a quarter yard but double the width. And so they call it a fat quarter. And you get those in bundles. You'll see them like this and you'll think to yourself, what are those? Well, these are 18 by 22 inch pieces, and that's called a fat quarter. Now, my favorite part of the fabric world is that they now come in pre-cuts, which means they're pre-cut. So they have standard sizes. They come in 10-inch packs like this. And you'll want to check to see how many squares are in your pack. Ours generally come 42 pieces in a pack. And so a lot of the fabric designers now are putting their lines into these packs like this. And so you'll get one fabric from the whole line of fabric without having to stack up all those bolts and buy individual yardage. You'll just get one square of each of those in your pack. You can get them in 10-inch squares. You can get them in 5-inch squares. And you can get them in these look at these cute little 2.5-inch squares. And so they're all darling. These are called charms. These are called candies. And these are referred to as layer cakes, but every company has their own name. So if you see something that says stacker, it's still a 10-inch square. Just remember that. So also they come in some strips. So we get 2.5-inch strips and we get 1.5-inch strips. And, I'll say you need, when I'm talking about making a quilt, I'll say you need one packet. There's 40 strips in these. 42 in these. And so you just want to pay attention, because if you have scrap fabric, you can actually cut your own. These are just 2.5-inch strips of fabric. Cut the width of the fabric. Most of our fabric is going to be 100% cotton. The fabric that we quilt with, we want it to be 100% cotton. And so if you buy it by the yard, you may want to pre-wash that. I don't pre-wash if you buy good fabric, the dyes are set, you don't really need to pre-wash it. But if you're buying cheaper fabric to get started, because you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money, you just want to try it out, pre-wash that fabric. But if you're buying pre-cuts, do not pre-wash them, because they will end up a pile of strings in your washing machine, and that will be terrible. So don't pre-wash your pre-cuts, just your yardage. So I hope that explains the fabric to you. For this next video, we're going to talk all about tools.